Grant Turner, thank you so much for joining me today, and congratulations on your September Associate Spotlight. How's your day going so far?
Going well. It's been busy.
That's always a day in the life of a network engineer. How long have you been with Adafio?
I've been here 13 months now.
So would you be able to just give me a little background into who you are and what you do for Adafio? What does a network engineer do, in your words?
Most of my main responsibilities are right now, I am a network priority engineer 3 days a week. And that's kind of a rotating position that we have where any priority 1 or 2 tickets that come in, there's somebody designated to handle those. To do that, I'd have to be available to go on site anywhere. And then my other main thing that I do is I support our Cisco phone system clients.
You're proficient in Cisco phones.
I mean, I try.
That's quite a skill. You might actually have a lot of people knocking on your door. What does a priority 1 versus a priority 2 mean? How do they differentiate?
Yeah, so priority 1 would be like they're totally down, like the network is down.
Okay,
So,
like code red.
Exactly. Yes, actually, in ConnectWise, the color is red. Priority 2 is like quick response, so not necessarily down, but not just your standard response where maybe you could wait a day or something. It's need to do it. We need to respond to it quickly.
Right. So tell me, what did you do before you came? Where did you go to school?
I went to OBU, got a degree in computer science and also in piano. And then I worked in IT at OBU for several years. Yeah, the last role I was in there was assistant network admin. But yep, then came from there to Adafio.
And what brought you to know that was the path you wanted to take versus piano? Do you find any similarities between the two specialties?
Well, it's a lot easier to make money than piano. Yeah, that's just, the arts, the pay scale isn't really the same.
Yeah. Called starving artist, I think, for a reason.
Yeah. As far as like programming and stuff, there are some similarities for, like reading, because, people will oftentimes say that, reading music is a different language, which I think is true to a certain degree. And programming is kind of a different language, and even networking, there's different languages for routers and switches and stuff. Like, it's not really the same as programming, but it's similar. I would say those are
it's just two vastly different parts of your brain at work, and to think that you're actually using both sides makes you somewhat of a savant.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, I just think anybody who has a music background is always maybe to an added level of intelligence. That's just my personal opinion. So I played the flute for maybe a year. That's about as far as it goes for me. But I've thought that maybe playing the piano would be a great outlet. I just haven't done it. So
yeah. Well, I've never met anybody that, a lot of people took piano when they were little or whatever. But I've never met anybody that said, oh yeah, I played piano for a couple of years and I quit, and I'm so glad I quit. Everybody always says, oh, I wish I hadn't quit.
Yeah. So do you still play? Do you have a piano in your house?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I play all the time. Yeah.
I want to get back to that, but while we're still talking about network engineering, what is it that you enjoy most about your job at Adafio?
I love that every day that it's a different thing that I'm coming into. There's not really any monotony. One day I might go to a brand new client that I've never been to before. Yeah, I just like that it's very different. There's, it's not sitting at a desk 8 to 5 doing the same thing with the same people all the time. And you never know what the day might have in store.
But that the expertise you have will help most of the time, will help solve the problem, which is a great feeling, knowing that every day you're going to come in with new challenges that you have to learn how to hopefully resolve, or you could bring your other team members to help with the project and problem.
Yep. Yeah, and
then you continue to learn from, right? Like it seems like it's just this wheel of the cyclical growth cycle.
Yeah, I also enjoy that, you can kind of have different roles within Adafio, or even within from a network position. Like, you might be assigned to different clients and that might change in the future. Yeah, I think that's enjoyable for me, because that's just another way that you can kind of get some change, like having to literally change your job.
if you had the opportunity or something changed, what other career move would you choose to be in?
I mean, if I wasn't doing this, I'm sure I'd be doing something with music just because that's kind of the two things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
Teaching or playing with somebody or something like that.
Do you play for your kids?
I do, yeah.
Do they play?
Well, my oldest is only 5, and girls oftentimes might start piano earlier or things like that. Girls are usually kind of a little bit quicker. Boys maybe maybe not as much sometimes, but I'll ask him, "Hey, do you want to have a lesson?" And he's like, "No, but I want to play." So we have a little duet thing that we play where I basically just like show him what the tonic is of the key, and then he kind of plays it in the rhythm that he wants. That usually
Yeah.
vaguely matches the song. So I mean, it's better than nothing.
It is better than nothing, and it's certainly impressionable. I would imagine that they are capturing and their brain is absorbing all of that in some way.
Yeah,
Um,
it at least helps him develop rhythm and stuff, which he
mhm.
has good rhythm and he enjoys it. So it's something to build on that they like, because that's a lot of it with music and instruments and stuff, is figuring out how to cultivate it in a way that they enjoy it instead of just making it like, another school assignment.
Absolutely. So to speak to that, I have a 12-year-old who played piano for about 6 years and he loved it. Now he's really into basketball. He wants nothing to do with the piano, but I do think that eventually he'll go back to it. But what really turned him away from it mostly was the fact of the competitive nature and the competitions, when really he just enjoyed exploring and playing. He
Just
was just,
playing for your own enjoyment instead of
yeah,
trying to, win first place at something.
yeah, he ended up, it took the fun out of it, and that turned him now to where he's focusing on basketball. But I do think the fact that he played it for that long, it's within him, and and I hope that he's not the kid or the adult that says, I wish I'd kept playing. I hope that he eventually comes back around and sees the how much he enjoyed it.
That's just one of those things that, for each kid, you kind of have to find a way to, you kind of have to sense they're not liking this aspect of it right now.
Yeah,
So I need to not push this.
exactly. It's true. Do you have any favorite songs or genre that you play?
I'm classically trained, so I like
Hmm.
that stuff, but I also
Okay.
like more modern stuff. I like jazz. I don't really play a lot of jazz, praise and worship stuff, and church music stuff. Also,
Hmm.
I mean, most genres I like.
It's interesting. There's several engineers within Adafio that play music, so it's like we could put a band together if we wanted to.
That's what I've heard. Nobody's introduced
Wouldn't
me
that
to
be
any of this
fun?
yet. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, just name them the IT guys.
Yeah,
Everybody would expect them to be terrible, so expectations would be low.
I know, right? So then once you start playing, it'll be just you'll completely win them over with how impressed they would be. What do you like to do when you're not working?
Oh, I like to spend time with my wife and my 3 boys. Things are very loud.
I can imagine. So I know you have a 5-year-old. What are the other ages?
Yep, 5-year-old, 2-year-old, they're like exactly 3 years apart. Then the youngest is 6 months. The two and the second and the third one are a little bit closer together.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I
our
can
house is
only imagine what a riot, and the personalities. It's a never a dull moment, but
loud.
it's an adventure every day. You really need to write down some of their conversations because it's just you won't ever hear them again. It's like I did not ever know I would hear that sentence come out of a person's mouth.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, our oldest two are they're pretty much either best friends or they're hitting each other. So it's pretty
Yeah,
much only one of those two.
right. They always say the last one, if they say if you'd had the last one first, you probably wouldn't have ever had the others because it would have been so challenging. So watch out, your 6-month-old might be the challenge.
Oh man,
Just
I
saying.
hope not. Our first one was hard. It's kind of surprising we had more. He only slept through the night twice ever by the age of 2.
That
So,
that was my daughter.
oh
I was delirious. I really
yeah,
started thinking I was going crazy because of lack of sleep. It's not a fun experience. So when they do finally go to sleep, it is a blessing that nobody knows unless they've experienced it.
it's a
Isn't that
hallelujah.
right?
It's a hallelujah moment.
Yes, absolutely. What's your favorite place to go?
Yeah, as far as traveling, I haven't really gone outside of the U.S. very much, unfortunately.
Hmm.
avoid.
Okay, it's not
I've
really a
never,
good time to go right now anyway.
well, yeah, that's true. I've never been overseas, but it'd be kind of hard for me to narrow it down. I would say either Ouray, Colorado, or Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, are two of my favorite places.
So you call it Ouray. I've heard people call it Ouray. I like Ouray. I can't say Ouray. It just doesn't sound right, but
It's Ouray.
it is Ouray. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been there. I'm from Colorado originally, and
Oh,
I didn't live there, but we would travel all across the state to climb 14ers, and there's a few around that area. We stayed in the haunted hotel in Ouray.
oh well, you're
When,
probably more of an authority than me. I've only heard people there say Ouray. I didn't know that other people there said Ouray.
you
So
know, the only thing I can count on is we could Google it. That would be my only, way of really confirming. But I don't say Ouray. I say Ouray, and they can say it however they want, and we can say
yeah,
it however we want. It's like tomato and tomato. So you're a
yeah,
mountain person or an ocean person more
yeah.
so? Which one would you pick?
Oh man, well that's hard. I mean, yeah, in the summer probably beach because it's hot and
Yeah.
the water helps with that. Yeah, that's hard to say. If you go to Colorado in the summer, the temperatures are actually nice, so you wouldn't have to have water.
No,
So
it's beautiful. They've got beautiful creeks. And they always say if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes.
yeah, in a perfect world, I would say I could do both.
Yeah. And there are places that have both. Maybe I think California is one of those places. Northern California, you have the best of all of it. That's why
Mhm.
it's so expensive to live there, because everybody knows that you can have the city and the beaches and the ocean, or the mountains all right there. It's pretty exquisite.
Yeah, the Pacific's too cold for me to get in though. I like to get in it. I'm one of those people that likes to get out
Oh,
and jump
yeah.
the waves and stuff, but Pacific's too cold.
You could do the cold water submersion. I think there's some relatively interesting facts about it helping with mental health. Not that I'm implying you have anything wrong with your mental health. I'm just saying that there's reasons why people might want to go and
I
do the cold water in the Pacific. I am not one of those people, but
yeah,
good luck to those that want to do it.
absolutely.
We'll carry on. So if you
Yes.
have do you have a personal mantra?
I mean, I would probably say if first you don't succeed, try again.
Yeah,
I think it applies to many, many, many things in life.
I agree. And maybe, as Einstein would say, you try it in a different way. Otherwise, it's insanity if you continue that same
Yes.
path over and over again. But I
Absolutely.
have a
Yes.
I have a metal plaque that says "Never, ever, ever quit," and it's by Winston Churchill. And I see it every morning, and it just is like that. Gives you that little bit of pep to know that you just have to just keep going, keep trying, and persevering, and eventually it's things will work out. They always do. So
Yep. If you give up, it's not going to happen.
yeah, right.
Like my parents would say, when I was a kid, the chores aren't going to get themselves done. It's that kind of thing.
Hmm. Oh, how much we learn from our parents too, right? Do they live
Yeah.
close?
My mom lives in Texas. Well, she still lives in the house that they bought when I was like 5 months old. My,
Wow.
yeah, my dad, he got cancer kind of well, not kind of, very unexpectedly, and he passed away about 3 years ago. So
Oh, I'm so sorry.
yeah, thank you. It was yeah, he was like my best friend, so it was not fun, but
Absolutely
that's
not. Do
to
you
live.
have other siblings?
I'm the oldest of four. Yep.
So now you're kind of like the patriarch of the family.
I mean, I don't want to be, but
No, I know.
it depends on who you ask. I I would say only if forced to be.
Yeah. So if you had three words that would best describe you, what would they be?
Yeah, so I had to pull some people on this because
Did you? Who did you pull? I always love that. People always do that.
my best friend and my wife.
Yeah.
Let's see. So kind of the convolution of both of their things were dedicated, driven, and old soul.
So tell me more about this old soul. I'm very curious.
Oh yeah, I knew that was going to be a follow-up question. I asked, I was like, are you sure we want to go with that? Because people are going to be like, what does that mean? I guess that I have higher than average appreciation for historical things, whether that be historical things of society or pop culture or music, archiving stuff. I'm interested in that kind of stuff.
You're always learning and curious. Would you
Yes,
say? Yeah.
yes, that's definitely accurate.
I often find that sometimes asking other people is really where you figure out with their input, you're able to come up with your own
They're
answers. It's kind of
yeah,
like therapy, you know?
they're a
They're
great
there.
barometer.
Huh?
They're a great barometer.
Yeah, they are. They are. Especially when you've got like your best friend and your wife to be able to help, give you their sense of their opinion about you.
Yep, exactly.
One is not on this, but it's something that I think you'll be able to answer relatively easy. But first, everybody here at Adopio has a story of what brought them to this company. And I know you just started 13 months ago, so it's relatively fresh in your mind of how did you end up here? How did you end up coming to Adopio?
Like I said, I was working in a smaller IT office, and I was living in a smaller area. And I'm originally from Fort Worth, Texas. Being in a small area was nice change for a while, but then after a while, I was like, this is I can't do this. This is too small.
Yeah.
And a desire to be a part of a larger IT team. Well, let me back up. We were looking to move.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was looking to find a larger IT team to be a part of and to get into a larger area. And Adopio definitely had both of those things, and just really enjoyed everybody I talked to at Adopio and the interview process and everything. And just really felt like everybody was easy to talk to and easy to connect to. Yeah, I just haven't really looked back since, and it's been a great experience.
That's wonderful. You could advise somebody who is just starting in this field or is recareering into this field. What kind of advice would you provide them or give them?
I would say technology is pretty much all about continuing to learn. I think sometimes, at least myself, you kind of get hung up when you're young coming out of college or whatever, trying to figure out exactly what you want to do in the field.
Okay.
And I think that sometimes it's something that you don't really know until you get into more things. Maybe for some people, I mean, I know it was kind of a thing for me. You're hesitant to pick something because you're not really sure if you want to do it forever.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be forever. You just kind of start it. And this is what I would say if I was talking to myself several years ago. Pick something and go with it, and if you don't like it, change it.
That's great advice. There's no need to stick with something if you're miserable, and we always have a right to change our mind. We have a right to say, you know what, I've learned and I can make a difference. I can change and do this way now.
Yeah, but especially technology, a lot of those things overlap. Even though you're focusing on one thing, you're going to wind up with exposure to a lot of different stuff that you might decide along the way, hey, I really enjoyed that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would enjoy that way more than what I'm doing right now.
Well, that's a great answer. Really sincerely appreciate you taking the time. I know that you've got a busy day and lots of priority 1 and 2 things to take care of, but it's great to take a break from it, get to know our fellow colleagues, and congratulations again on being nominated for your Associate Spotlight for this month. It's a pleasure to meet you, even if it's virtual.
That's right. Absolutely. I enjoyed it very much, and I appreciate your time. I had a lot of fun.
Well, and good luck with those kids. I'll be sure to check in with you every time I see you to see how it's progressing.
Yeah. There's never a shortage of stories, so.
That sounds great. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch up later.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye, Grant.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.